Family man, devoted public servant, church leader, well-respected attorney, and a key participant in a dramatic chapter of U.S. presidential history, Don Sanders was all of these things during his 69 years. Born on April 26, 1930 in St. Louis, he grew up learning carpentry and enjoying scouting, eventually becoming an Eagle Scout. He enrolled at the University of Missouri campus in Columbia in the fall of 1947. Before attending MU's law school, he would also attend Washington University for a short time and become a member of the Carpenters Union Local in St. Louis. Don married Dolores Henderson in 1952, and they would have 3 children, Deborah, Michael, and Matthew. He graduated from MU Law in 1954 and then served in the Marines, becoming a commissioned officer before returning to Columbia in 1956 to become city attorney and then a Boone County assistant prosecutor. In 1959, he would join the FBI, something he had been dreaming about since he was a boy. He was assigned to Birmingham, Alabama, and was on the team of agents in 1961 who would solve the burning of the Freedom Riders bus by the Ku Klux Klan in that city. After 10 years of honing his investigative skills, he would be lured away from the FBI in 1969 to become the chief counsel for Missouri Congressman Richard Icord on the U.S. House Internal Security Committee. At that time, Icord was looking for a lawyer to help him investigate the 1968 Chicago Democratic Convention riots. After working for more than 5 years on the committee, Sanders found himself assigned as the Deputy Minority Counsel investigating the Watergate break-in. He worked under Fred Thompson, who would later become a well-known film actor and a U.S. Senator from Tennessee. Now, most in Washington weren't paying that much attention to the second lawyer in charge on the Minority Counsel, but Richard Nixon had heard about this lawyer from Missouri, and he was curious.
What kind of a staff man do they have?
They have a good guy. Don Sanders is...
Do you know him?
I've met him. Yes, he's chief counsel.
Is he tough?
My impression is that he is tough and a good man.
On July 13, 1973, in a windowless basement room in the Capitol, and after listening to another lawyer question presidential aide Alexander Butterfield for 3 hours, Sanders took his turn to ask what he couldn't believe hadn't already been asked.
Before I asked the question, I seriously considered that there was a strong possibility that he would say yes to that.
He would ask Butterfield a question and get an answer that would change U.S. history and American government forever. Sanders asked if Butterfield would know why the president would take John Dean to a corner of the Oval Office and speak in a hushed voice. "I was hoping you fellas wouldn't ask me that," Butterfield said. Yes, there is a recording system in the president's offices. After the interview, lead counsel Fred Thompson asked Sanders if he, Sanders, would like to question Butterfield in front of television cameras in the world. Sanders demurred. Their boss, vice chairman of the committee, Senator Howard Baker, also asked Sanders if he could announce his name at the hearings. Sanders demurred again. The always modest, tall, lifelong Republican and lawyer from Boone County, Missouri, allowed Thompson to ask the question of Butterfield 3 days later as America watched. What would follow would be a year-long battle to gain access to the tapes, which were finally handed over on August 5, 1974, and clearly showed that Nixon had called for the cover-up of the Watergate burglary. Nixon resigned 3 days later. After Watergate, Sanders returned to Columbia to open a private law practice. He successfully ran for Boone County Commissioner from the Southern District in 1989, but chose to serve only one 2-year term. In 1990, he went back to MU to earn a master's degree in history, and in 94 and 95 he served as president of our Boone County Historical Society. He would work to persuade the county to accept his family's gift of a half-mile and the longest intact portion of the Boonslick Trail. Donald Gilbert Sanders passed in 1999 after a battle with cancer, but he left behind a family who adored him, a community who admired and respected him as much as anybody who has ever served Boone County in 200 years, and a nation who will always remember him as a man of integrity. Please welcome into the Boone County Hall of Fame a man as deserving as there ever was, Donald Gilbert Sanders.